Hello guys, my name is Gavin, and this will be a tutorial on setting the active camera to be the camera that's closest to the player. There will be some Python involved, and I'm just going to get started. To start off, I'm just going to right click on this camera and hit X delete, and then right click on this camera and hit X delete. That was the light, sorry. Let's then hit 1 to go into front view and do spacebar and then add a camera like this. Now I'm going to drag this back. Now if I hit 7 to go in the top view, what I'm going to do is actually hit Shift and D to copy it, then bring it out just a little bit and do R and Z and rotate it to face this way. If we hit 0, we should see this like this, and this other camera is going to be at an angle like this. Now we want to give these cameras unique names, so let's rename this camera as 1, then rename this camera as 2, like that. Let's then go to the game logic view by doing defaults to game logic and go from Blender render to Blender game. This cube in the middle, let's right click on it, then drag this out and rename it to player, like this. Alright, what we're now going to do is do add sensor always and click these first 3 dots. This is with our player selected, and do add controller in Python right here and connect these. Let's then create a script by dragging this out. Templates Python, then game logic simple. Delete the portion that I've highlighted and hit control and scroll up on your mouse to make your text larger. Now I'm just going to rename this script as game scripts like that .py. I'm going to add that right here. Alright, because we want to actually involve these 2 cameras within our script, I'm going to import the scene. The scene is going to equal bg.logic.get current scene like that. I'll actually drag this out just a little bit more, like that. And what I'm going to do is get those 1 and 2 cameras into the game by doing 1 is going to equal scene.objects 1, and then 2 is going to equal scene.objects 2, like that. Alright, now that we got that, what we're going to do is make a distance variable, and this is going to calculate the distance between the player and the camera. Let's have distance 1 is going to equal own.getDistance 2, and then 1. Then distance 2, going to equal own.getDistance 2, and then 2. Alright, and what we want it to do is if we want to calculate it so that the closest camera is active, we're going to do this. If distance 1 is less than distance 2, what we're going to do is have scene.active_camera is going to equal 1. And if it's else, or if distance 2 is closer, if the camera is closer on distance 2, we're going to have scene.active_camera is going to equal 2. And at the moment what we're going to do is print, let's say, scene.active_camera. So I'm kind of going to go over this one more time. So what we're having right here essentially is we're getting our 2 cameras into the game, calculating a distance and storing that distance in a variable, then using an if and else statement to determine which camera is closer, then printing the active camera to the console. Now I'm going to outscore this really quick. I'm going to open up the console. This is if you're using a PC. I don't know how to do it if you're using a Mac. I apologize. But if I were to hit P from here, you can see, actually I'll hit 0, go into camera view. You can see that camera 2 is closer right here, and it's printing 2 to the console to indicate that. But if I were to right click on this camera 2 and drag it way out here and hit 0, and hit P now, the closer camera is 1. And you can tell because this is kind of the weird offset camera, but since 1 is closer, it's setting the active camera in the game to camera 1. Alright guys, that's how you set the active camera to be the camera that's closest to the player. Hope you found this useful.